Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Everyone, please chant. We can't hear you.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to devotees of today's class. Today we continue with Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 7, verse 39. The chapter is entitled Lord Caitanya and Five Features. We are very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada.
Audible.
Haribol Maharaj.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Or Bhakta Vinda Taba Nicha Bhakta Kaila Yata Lecha Adi Sabe eḍāila mātra kāśīra māyāvādī. All were converted into devotees of Lord Caitanya, even the mlecchas and yavanas. Only the impersonalist followers of Śaṅkarācārya evaded him. Purport. In this verse is clearly indicated that although Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu converted Muslims and other mlecchas into devotees, the impersonalist followers of Śaṅkarācārya could not be converted. After accepting the renouncement of life, Caitanya Mahaprabhu converted many karma-nishtas who were addicted to fruitive activities, many great logicians like Śaṅkarācārya, nindakas, blasphemers like Prakasananda Saraswati, Pashandis, non-devotees like Jagai and Madai, and Adama Pradukyas, degraded students like Mukunda and his friends. All of them gradually became devotees of the Lord, even the Pathan Muslims. But the worst offenders, the impersonalists, were extremely difficult to convert, for they very tactfully escaped the devices of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. In describing kāśīra māyāvādīs, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained that persons who are bewildered by empiric knowledge or direct sensual perception, and who thus consider that even the limited material world can be gauged by their material estimations, conclude that anything that one can discern by direct sense perception is by maya or illusion. They maintain that although the absolute truth is beyond the range of sense perception, it includes no spiritual variety or enjoyment. According to kāśīra māyāvādīs, the spiritual world is simply void. They do not believe in the personality of the absolute truth or his varieties of activities in the spiritual world. Although they have their own arguments, which are not very strong, they have no conception of the variegated activities of the absolute truth. These impersonalists, who are followers of Śaṅkarācārya, are generally known as kāśīra māyāvādīs, and persons residing in Varanasi. Near Varanasi, there's another group of impersonalists who are known as Saranatha Māyāvādīs. Outside the city of Varanasi is a place known as Saranatha, where there's a big Buddhist stupa. Many followers of Buddhist philosophy live there, and they are known as Saranatha Māyāvādīs. The impersonalists of Saranatha differ from those of Varanasi, where the Varanasi impersonalists propagate the idea that the impersonal Brahman is truth, whereas material varieties are false. But the Saranatha impersonalists do not even believe that the absolute truth or Brahma can be understood as the opposite of maya or illusion. According to their vision, materialism is the only manifestation of the absolute truth. Actually, both the kāśīra and Saranatha, as well as other philosophers who have no knowledge of the spirit soul, are advocates of utter materialism. None of them have clear knowledge regarding the absolutely spiritual world. Philosophers like Saranatha Māyāvādīs, who do not believe in the spiritual existence of the absolute truth, but consider material varieties to be everything, do not believe that there are two kinds of nature, inferior, material, spiritual, superior, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, neither the Varanasi nor the Saranatha Māyāvādīs accept the principles of the Bhagavad Gita due to a poor fund of knowledge. Since the impersonalists who do not have perfect knowledge cannot understand the principles of Bhakti Yoga, they must be classified amongst the non-devotees who are against the Krishna conscious movement. We sometimes feel inconvenienced by the hindrance offered by these impersonalists. We do not care about their so-called philosophy, for we are propagating our own philosophy as presented in Bhagavad Gita as it is, and getting successful results. Theorizing as if devotional service was subject to mental speculation, both kinds of Māyāvādī impersonalists conclude that the subject matter of Bhakti Yoga is a creation of Maya, and that Krishna devotional service and devotees are also Maya. Therefore, as stated by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Māyāvādī Krishna Aparādī, all the Māyāvādīs are offenders to Lord Krishna. It is not possible for them to understand the Krishna conscious movement. Therefore, we do not value their philosophical conclusions. However, experts such quarrelsome impersonalists are and put forward their so-called logic. We defeat them in every respect and go forward with our Krishna conscious movement. Their imaginative mental speculation cannot deter the progress of the Krishna conscious movement, which is completely spiritual and never under the control of such Māyāvādīs. Umagyantimidandasya Gyanajyanaksaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Satarine Vanchakalpa Darubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bhepacha Titanam Bhavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. To accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead means to surrender to Him. In other words, to follow His instructions, His guidance. But nowadays, it's very fashionable to create some kind of philosophy that sounds very spiritual, but actually has no connection with the absolute truth. Because they push out Aruna Kirchena Padam Padati Yata. They push out the Supreme Lord and they want to create their own ideas, which they call spiritual. They want to be spiritual, but they have no idea what is spiritual. Spiritual comes from the source of spirituality, the Supreme Lord Himself. As the laws of the state come from the government, and so the laws of material nature come from the supreme government, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead through His different energies. Therefore, they don't want to accept personalism because it requires them to surrender, which they avoid. They want to create their own philosophy and ideas on how the material energy works. And as it says here, they're basically all materialistic ideas. And because they don't have any direction, they keep changing their philosophy. So you see here, there are two schools of māyāvādīs are mentioned, but there's actually at least 10 different schools of māyāvādīs. These are just two of them. And they're all, the whole idea is that either material energy is supreme or material energy is simply an illusion, and we are God. And we, because I was listening to Prabhupada today, he was saying that people say, the māyāvādīs say we are God. We have the same quality as the Supreme Lord, but that doesn't make us the source of everything. As the scriptures say, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam, Eko Bahuda Vidadanti Kaman. That Supreme One, Nityo, creates many Nityanam. And those Nityanams are also elements of the same Nityo, but in a smaller quantity. Just like a drop of water has the same quality as the ocean, but the ocean is the ocean and the drop is the drop. You can do things with the ocean, but you can't do things with the drop. Can't swim in the drop. You can't sail your boat in the drop, but you can do that in the ocean. But both are of the same quality. So in the same way, the living entity is actually the same as the Supreme Lord. But they acknowledge that, but then because they don't want to surrender, because they're envious of the Supreme Lord, because they want to be the Supreme Lord, they say that the coverings of material energy, once removed, reveals one's God, nature as a Supreme God. But that doesn't make sense, because if everybody is Supreme God, then who is God? Nobody. They have no logic. but they have different ways of explaining their mislogic by using certain word juggleries or taking issue with the supreme truth and changing it around to work according to their designed philosophy. Just like there's that verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what is that verse? What is that? It's 15:7 in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, what's the first word? 15:7. Stani Karshati is the last two ones, 15:7. Mamaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana masastani indriyani prakriti stani karshati. So this verse is clear. It says the living entities in the conditional are eternal fragmental. Due to conditional life, they are struggling very hard with the senses, which include the mind. So the māyāvādīs will say, yes, but they're struggling because they're actually God, but they're not realizing they're God. But when they come back to their actual position, then there's no more struggle and they actually become the supreme. So they say this word sanatana, which means eternal, only applies to the manifestation of the material energy. Above the manifestation of the material energy, those same eternal fragmental parts become the supreme. So they take the verse and give their own term. Prabhupada said, it says, in the purport, it is clearly said sanatana. That means eternally, whether in the conditioned state or in the liberated state, the jiva soul or the fragmental parts of the supreme are always fragmental in any condition of existence, whether liberated or conditioned. But the māyāvādīs say, no, it's only true in the conditioned state, but in the liberated state, then they are free from the effects of the material energy, and that means they're no longer fragmental parts, but they are actually the supreme whole. So they're expert. If you listen to Prabhupada, you'll hear how he defeats all of their arguments, very logical, by using Shastra and Guru and Krishna's statements. And everything becomes clear. But the Mayavadis are expert at jumbling words. And therefore, one can become fooled by such word jugglery and start to think. Prabhupada was also talking about a neophyte devotee who has some faith but doesn't have knowledge. And then when they hear something that is contrary to what they've been exposed to, they become bewildered and sometimes they give it up and they accept this illusion. So one has to be very attuned with Vaishnava philosophy, because most of the spiritualists in different groups are all either nirvishesha sunyavadi or mayavadi, either one of the two. Sunyavadi is the Buddhists who say that there is nothing spiritual, everything is material, and when we get free from the material world, then we become nothing. We have no identity. We just merge. Where do we merge? They don't really give a clear understanding of their merging. Merge into the unmanifested existence. That means what merges? The soul, actually. But even that is not accepted because the soul does not merge. The soul stays separate always, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, ajo nityam shashvato yam purana nahanyate hanyamani sarire. They're always my separated parts and parcels, like that. So there is different types of Mayavadis, philosophers, so-called spiritualists, this, tapasya. But Srila Prabhupada has given us Lord Chaitanya's teachings, which is the complete understanding of the absolute truth. The absolute truth is simultaneously one with and different from it. As the sun and the sunshine is one and different from each other, so the soul is also one and different from the Supreme Soul. One in the sense of quality, difference in the sense of quantity. But even in that quality, that oneness is somewhat marginalized, because even on the spiritual platform, the living entity cannot be the same as the Supreme Lord, because it says that Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, everything comes from me. One who is wise will worship me. So there is a source of everything. Just like you see, when something is created, there's a person who's behind that object being created. There's always a person anywhere. Nothing happens by chance. And the māyāvādīs or the gross materialists say that matter comes together. And when matter comes together, it creates an explosion, and then that explosion creates another form of matter, which is a higher form. So Prabhupada gave the example. If you take alkaline and acid and you mix it together, there will be an explosion. But what happens was, who was mixing it though? They can't mix by themselves. They have to be put together in a certain condition. And then the explosion happens. But the explosion is caused by a person, not simply by the combination of these two things. Without the individual making it happen, there is no activity. So matter cannot interact without the help of spirit. When spirit moves, material things interact. But it's not that they interact and produce something different. The interaction creates something different, but it doesn't destroy what's already been created, in other words. So their philosophy is all hodgepodge. As Prabhupada said, poor fund of knowledge, no knowledge really. So this is everywhere. Those who don't worship the Supreme, says it's the karmis, they're also, they may say, I believe in God, but they don't follow God. Just like, well, I have a spiritual master, but I don't do anything he says. He's my guru, but I don't chant rounds. I don't do any service. I don't read the books. I don't associate with devotees, but I have a guru. I'm laughing because I just got a letter from somebody who was in that same situation. You're my guru, but I don't do any of these things. Yeah, well, you better wake up, because the spiritual master is the person that connects you with Krishna. And if you have no desire to connect with Krishna, what's the sense of calling some person your guru? He's not. He's just, that's some sentimental behavior. That's all it is. Due to, maybe it's due to some kind of mental disturbance. People are mentally ill nowadays. And so mental illness will create their own ideas of what is right and wrong. So so unless we hear from the parampara system coming from Krishna himself, evam paramparam prakta evam rajaso vidu, we will get everything but the absolute truth. There's so much out there that it's really, one has to be very, very careful not to step beyond the bounds of Vaishnava philosophy that's given by the Brahma Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya, Lord Chaitanya's teachings. Outside of that, you'll hear everything and anything. And so, therefore one has to stay chaste to Krishna and to one's spiritual master by hearing only from those same authorities and not from others. Because what you hear may sound nice, but it doesn't have any reality because it's not in line with the parampara system. In other words, it's some mental concoction, that's all. Okay, so we'll stop there and open it up for questions.
Thank you so much, Marge, for this wonderful class, especially the concluding point that you mentioned was really, really heavy. Very true, though. Very, very true. Thank you, Marge. Would like to.
I don't follow, but I still have a guru. Is that the one?
Yes, it's so common nowadays, Marge. It's so common.
He's my guru, but I don't listen to him.
Oh, Marge, it's really sad. It's really sad how common it is in today's times, it's
Justify that also. They have some justification.
yeah.
It's too
Thank you,
difficult.
Marge.
It's too difficult. Why did you take initiation in the first place?
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's what we call hero worship, Marge.
Well, that's a high label for that one. Just some misplaced sentiment, that's all it is.
Oh, Krishna. But thank you for that point, Marge. It's such a rude awakening, lack of a better word, for us to really assess our connection with our spiritual master. Krishna Kaviraj, you can start the questions, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Thank you. Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to your Gurudev. Guru Maharaj, I don't understand. So we all have so many emotions. We have so many feelings, thoughts, desires. We have so many challenges and obstacles. So how do these māyāvādīs even live? What do they do? What do they think about? How can they block all these emotions and desires and challenges and just even live?
Well, they have their own philosophy, which is wrong. And so they read books. They have they study shastras very seriously, but they have their own interpretations of shastra. They don't take it from, as it says, evam paramparam prakta. They don't take it from the Vaishnav parampara system. They take it from their own parampara system, which starts off with the idea that all living entities are the supreme, but covered by the material energy. And therefore, the process of self-realization is get free from that covering, and then you're back to being the supreme.
They're just buried in dry philosophy that you can't relish anything, get any love from.
Yeah, if you see the māyāvādīs, they always look morose.
That figures.
It's a fact. They act like they're very serious, but mostly they're just morose.
Oh dear. Sounds like a mental disease.
It is. Well, Prabhupada was saying Lord Shiva, he had to do this work. It was commissioned by Krishna to do the work, to destroy Buddhism. So Māyāvādī was there to destroy Buddhism, because Buddhism was saying that there is no God.
Thank you for explaining, Gurudev.
So Buddhism was driven out of India mostly by Māyāvādīs. But Māyāvādī philosophy and Buddhism has similarities. There's that verse spoken by Lord Shiva. Do you know that verse, Sri Devi? The one spoken by Lord Shiva. He speaks to Parvati. He tells her his mission.
No, Guru Maharaj, I cannot recall that verse.
by Lord Shiva. The verse says, I teach Buddhism, which is I teach Māyāvādīism, which is covered atheism. Buddha, Buddha, Buddham is one of the words in the verse. I don't know if that's enough to find the verse. It's really a nice verse. It starts off, my dear Parvati.
Is it this one from Padma Puran, Guru Maharaj? It says, Māyāvādam asachastram prachanam bauddham uchyate māyaiva kalpitam devi kalau brahmana rupina.
That's it.
Covered Buddhism?
Yeah, that's the one. Māyāvādam asachastram prachanam bauddham uchyate māyāvādī vihitam de kalau brahma murtina. Translation, somebody, can you put the translation up?
Let me see if I can.
just trying to get
Or
the
if you
trans-
get to it before me, you can put it right in the chat, Sri Devi, and I'll be,
Okay.
and I can read it. Let
Okay,
me.
here you go. I'm putting it in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, Radha Bhakti got to that too. I think it's the same one.
Okay.
Is it the same as hers? Okay.
Well, she gave an interpretation of it, which is an interpretation.
Yes. I'm
Indeed.
going to Vani Quotes Maharaj right now, the link that Sri Devi shared, and it's connecting. Okay, there we go. I'm going to share this, Maharaj, so that we can confirm if that's what it also is. Where are you? There we go. In the Kali Yuga, I shall preach the Māyāvād philosophy, which is nothing but clouded Buddhism.
Covered Buddhism.
Yeah.
Not clouded, covered.
Oh, covered? Okay, here it says clouded. Okay. In the garb of a Brahmana. That's what it says. His Lordship Shiva said to Devi. And the SB introduction is, the Lord further added that the Māyāvād philosophy taught by Śrīpad Śaṅkarācārya is an imaginary explanation of the Vedas. But it had to be taught by him, Śaṅkarācārya, because he was ordered to teach this by the personality of Godhead. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that the personality of Godhead ordered his Lordship Shiva to deviate the human race from him. The personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead was to be covered so that people would be encouraged to generate more and more population. His Lordship Shiva said to Devi in the Kali Yuga, I shall preach the Māyāvād philosophy, which is nothing but clouded Buddhism in the garb of a Brahmana. Covered. Okay.
Both
The
ways.
next one says covered, Anusriya. The next quote, that's what Guru Maharaj is asking
In
for.
the CC. Got it. Got it. Yep, it says here. Here it says it is covered Buddhism. Yes. Marsh, would you like
The
me to read
Māyāvād
that?
philosophy, Lord Shiva informed his wife Parvati. Read from there.
Okay. Okay, let me go down and read that. Yes.
Right here, the Māyāvādī, Lord Shiva informed his wife.
Is impious asakshastra. It is covered Buddhism. My dear Parvati, in Kali Yuga, I assume the form of a Brahmana and teach this imagined Māyāvād philosophy. CC Adi Lila 7:110 purport. One may argue that since Śaṅkarācārya.
Keep going. In order to cheat the atheist, I describe the person to be without form and without qualities.
Okay, that's further down. Okay, got it, Maharaj. I'll start there. In order to cheat the atheist, I describe the Supreme Personality. Sorry. In order to cheat the atheist, I describe the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be without form and without qualities. Similarly, in explaining Vedanta, I describe the same Mayavad philosophy in order to mislead the entire population toward atheism by denying the personal form of the Lord. In the Shiva Purana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead told Lord Shiva, Dvaparado yuge bhutva kalaya manu sadishu swagame kalpitas tvam cha janan mat mukhan kuru. In Kali Yuga, mislead the people in general by propounding imaginary meanings for the Vedas to bewilder them. These are the descriptions of the Puranas.
There's a reason for that.
Maharaj, that was my next question, Maharaj. Can you please share the reason, Maharaj?
Yeah, because Buddhism was atheism. To bring people back onto the Vedas, Śaṅkarācārya did that. But he brought it on in a monistic way, not in the complete way. He's teaching monism, oneism. Everything is one. The soul is, everything is one. We're all God. It's all one.
And that is also arranged by the Lord.
Yeah, so to push out Buddhism, which was atheism. So here now he's teaching covered Buddhism, which is another form of atheism. But then Krishna sent Ramanujacharya to bring it back onto the Vedas in a more complete way. Then Madhvacharya came and brought it farther, and then Lord Caitanya came and brought the whole. So it's a whole process just to destroy this atheistic philosophy of Buddhism and drive the Buddhism it drove Buddhism out of India. Was a purpose for it. It's not that the Lord wanted to bewilder everyone just for the fun of it. No, there was a purpose.
This is very, very deep, Maharaj.
Well, if you don't hear from Shastra and Guru, you'll misunderstand.
Because Maharaj, in this, paragraph above, it even says the personality of Godhead was to be covered so that people would be encouraged to generate more and more population. So the question I have, Maharaj, is can you explain
I don't know where you're getting this information.
Right here, Maharaj. It's Srimad Bhagavatam preface and introduction part. Right here.
Well, I never heard Prabhupada say that one. I only heard him say to, destroy Buddhism.
Okay.
Well, that might be a result. What has covered Buddhism is that Buddhism is atheism, but covered means it's still atheism, but it doesn't seem to be atheism. It says that we are all God, therefore there is a God and you are God. That's another form of atheism. That's what it says, covered or clouded Buddhism.
Wow, this is a class in itself, Maharaj.
Yeah, if you know the history, it's easy. Why did Buddha come? Buddha came to stop animal slaughter in the name of ritualistic ceremonies. Animals were being unnecessarily slaughtered. So he got people off the Vedas so they would stop the animal slaughter. And Buddha was God himself, but he presented himself as a philosopher. He said, worship the Eightfold Mystic Process. In other words, the Buddhism, they like to develop good qualities, but they have no understanding of the absolute truth. Buddhism are mostly materialists, that's all.
And that's, Marge, I think I might take up everybody's question time, so I'm going to stop and give it to Sonal, Marge, if that's okay with you. Got me thinking. Sonal, you can go ahead, and when there's time, I'll ask later on or write to Marge.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my obeisances to all the devotees. Maharaj, I have a question regarding the same thing, because nowadays what we see is a so-called intellectual class of the society. The ego is so strong that they are not going to believe Krishna as the supreme person. And yet, I mean, if they are reading some books written by Mayavadi philosophers, where it's clearly mentioned that you are not the body, you are the soul, at least they kind of come through those books to the spiritual path. So is it possible for them to become devotee at a later stage?
Well, there's two kinds of impersonalists. There's the māyāvādīs and the Brahmavādīs. The Brahmavādīs are not, they think Brahman is the highest form of spiritual attainment. The māyāvādīs think differently. They think we are God, and we have to realize our position as the supreme. So the māyāvādīs are dangerous because they're envious of the Lord, where the Brahmavādīs are not envious, and they just think Brahman is the highest form. So if they're not envious of God, they can automatically go higher eventually. But the māyāvādīs, they don't want to hear about God. They even worship the forms of God and saying that these forms are created simply for the sake of worship. They have no reality. They're just created. And therefore they're just illusion. But you need form in order to go beyond form. You need some object to worship. So that they say all of these Krishna and all of the incarnations of the Lord are just creations for the sake of worship. That's all.
But say in the initial stages, is it wrong to read? Because if they're intellectual, they will go into deeper meanings and they will come to a deeper understanding. Is it right?
No, I don't. No, the māyāvādīs will never change. If you read this purport, it says here, Lord Caitanya could convert everybody. The māyāvādīs were impossible.
Okay.
No, they're envious of God. They want to be God, or they want to be independent of God.
So that means the ego is so strong that they don't want to surrender. Is that right?
Yeah, because they think they're the supreme, but they have to realize it. Therefore, the process of māyāvādī practice is to realize you're the supreme by this process of neti. It's not this, not this, not this, not this. They think by going through all the negatives, you come to the positive. But if you do the neti process, you'll come actually to the absolute truth.
Yeah.
Because above all of the created aspects of the existence, there is the source of all creation, which everything comes from. Tato Brahma Jigyasa, in the human form of life, one has to understand that Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, everything comes from me. The absolute truth is the source of all existence. That's mentioned in the very Janma Yasyasyaha, Janma Yayas Yastaha, that's the verse. It doesn't even mention Krishna, it says the absolute truth is the source of existence. But that absolute truth, then it's delineated and explained as being a personality. And that same personality spoke the Bhagavad Gita and other forms of spiritual knowledge in different contexts.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. Sorry.
Change these other statements around that we quote. They change them around and make it sound like it applies only in certain circumstances and not not in the absolute principle. They're very expert at juggling words. You have to be careful. If you come across them, they might convince you unless you're really fixed in the absolute truth. And you have to know the philosophy, otherwise they can easily defeat you by their word juggling. Very, very, very crafty. They study the scriptures and they know how to juggle the words.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Marge.
Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Marge, there are two questions in the chat. I'll read the first one, Marge, and that's from Wendy. I have a question regarding your mention of Buddhist philosophy. On my altar, I have a Buddha head because before reconnecting with Krishna consciousness, the teachings of Buddha helped me understand the impermanence of this material world and inspired me to begin developing detachment. Am I committing an offense by keeping him on my altar?
If you worship him, yeah. Just if you want to keep him there, but don't worship. Worship is for the Supreme, as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita in the last verse. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatendranatmanaha Drarvam bhajate yo mam yate me yuktamo mataha. So the word bhajate means worship. And then it described, Krishna says that worship is meant for me, not for the demigods, not for the other aspects of the spiritual tabernacle. It's all meant for the Supreme. So yeah, keep him on your altar if you want, but don't worship him.
Thank you, Marge. The next question. Okay, dear Krishna, go ahead, and then I'll come to Sakshi. Go ahead, dear Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderful points in this verse. When you mentioned about how these Mayavadis are so expert, that is so true because I have came across certain group and I couldn't even make out that they were Mayavadis. They were speaking such a beautiful Krishna Katha and all that from Braj and everything, and that is in US. And I really got bewildered. It was 7, 8 years back, and I really had to talk to my mentor to understand how can a Mayavadi can speak such a beautiful Katha, and that was very helpful. That talk very much helped. So just wanted to really appreciate the point that we have to be very careful. They are so expert in even speaking the Vraj Katha sometimes. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
You can understand everything that they're doing if you continue to hear from Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Pramana. You can understand Mayāvādī and how they use words to bring about their own ideas and their own conclusions. They think all of Krishna's Leelas are just imagination. That's all.
Even from Vraj, Hari Bol, Krishna.
Yeah, they'll chant the holy name too. They'll chant
Hare
Mahamantra.
Krishna.
But they say this chanting is good to go beyond the means of the words, go into the impersonal aspect, which is the result of chanting.
Marge, that's why Prabhupada says just listen to ISKCON and just stay within. He has been so strong about that point.
The teachings of all of the great acharyas.
Yes.
Ramanujacharya, all of the great acharyas in the Vaishnava tradition, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada Muni.
Wow. Thank you. That was a very nice point there, Krishna. Haribol. Mark, there's a question from Sakshi. She said, why was there a gradual philosophical progression from Buddhism to Mayavad and then to Ramanujacharya's philosophy instead of the direct introduction of the Vaishnava philosophy from the beginning? Is there a particular reason or purpose behind this gradual development?
Yeah, just to get people back onto the Vedas. Buddhists took them off the Vedas, Śaṅkarācārya brought him back on the Vedas in the monism way. Ramanuja took it to another level of the Vedic knowledge, and then adding Madhvacharya, he took it to another level. And then, but Lord Caitanya gave the complete. So coming back not only meant coming back to the Vedas, but coming back completely. And that's the Lord Caitanya is Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. That is the philosophy. So the absolute truth is simultaneously one and different.
Wow.
Just like one time Prabhupada gave a lecture and he was saying, "You're God, I'm God, we're all God. Everything is God." But then devotees got shocked, and Prabhupada said, "I was just telling you the oneness of the absolute truth. But there is the difference too, one and different. The sun and the sunshine are the same, but they're different. The sun is in my room. No, the sun is not in your room. The sunshine is in your room. But you say the sun is in my room. Yeah. So therefore, that the sunshine has a source in the sun. And the sun and the sunshine are practically the same. But one's the source and the other one is the energy. So we are the energy of the Lord, not the source. If we were the source, why are we having so many problems?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you. Mark, there is a confirmation. Well, that's a point here from Gauripriya. Gauripriya. She says she just wants to confirm, Mark, if she's got the thinking correct, her thought. Means that just because they are envious of God, they put themselves as God, and of course they will not be Krishna. But the Brahmavadis or others who are innocent, not envy of Krishna, and that's why they have opportunities to come to Krishna. Is that the right thinking? She's asking.
Yeah, and the example was the four Kumaras. They were Brahmavadis, and as soon as they came in contact with the tulsi leaves and sandalwood paste offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, simply by that fragrance, that awakened their personalism. So there are a group of people who are not māyāvādis, but they're impersonalists. They're not envious of the Lord. They just think the Brahman realization is the highest aspect of the Lord. But when they come to a higher one, they'll give up the lower one.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, there is a question here from another devotee. She's asking, is the Gautam Buddha the same Buddha mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam?
I think so. I'm not sure. I think so.
Not sure either.
The original Buddha is Gautam, I think, and so that is it says Bhagavatam says that Buddhist philosopher Gautam was actually Krishna himself, coming to push out this idea of using the Vedas to kill animals rather than they weren't qualified to do the sacrifice, they were just killing animals. Krishna is compassionate not only to the humans but to the animals also.
Thank you, Marge. I hope that helped the questions. Any other questions from devotees? This is a very hot topic, I have to say. It's pretty hot topic. Questions, comments, please do raise your hand, or you can put in the chat.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
It has to be the last question because I do have to run.
Yes, Marge. This will be the last question, Marge.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Lord Buddha, he taught to get people away from using the Vedas to kill animals. And then it was all changed later on all the way to Lord Caitanya with the full explanation of who Krishna is and Krishna consciousness is, Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Of course, he went to some progression from Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and Lord Caitanya. Would it have been a difficult situation for people to take it if from Buddha we had gone straight to Lord Caitanya because he had the ultimate?
I can't question the motivation of the Supreme Lord.
Okay.
What he ordained.
All right. So
that way he explains it to bring people gradually back onto the Vedas.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you might also accept the fact that people wouldn't have been able to go directly back to the Vedas because then they would have took up the same thing they did before. First, he took them off the Vedas, all completely. Forget your Vedas. Just worship me. Yeah. Follow the eightfold mystic system of what is it? They call it eight good qualities.
Noble truths.
Push that chair that way and push this chair this way. Yeah. And then you can work. Yeah, so and push the table. Yeah, that's fine. Good. So yeah, this is what the Lord did gradually. And he wanted to get people back on the Vedas. That's why Śaṅkarācārya Shiva did this work. It was a very difficult job for him to do because he's a Vaishnava. He had to teach something he didn't believe in. Just to get people back on the Vedas.
It's the mercy of the Lord.
Buddhism was rampant in India for a long time. And the Shok became so powerful that he made his whole community Buddhists. Buddhism was ruling India for a long time. So to jump right back on the Vedas again would have been impossible. And they had to do it gradually.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya, they tear into the Māyāvādīs. Not like us. We don't. We just talk about them. But they go out and challenge the Māyāvādīs. Especially Madhvas. They were, Prabhupada said we should do the same thing, but we don't do it. Schools defeat them.
Prabhupada is empowered and pure devotee. He can cut through anything, Maharaj.
Yeah, but it wasn't for Ramanuja and then of course Madhva. They tore into the Māyāvādīs. They defeated them. Pushed them into one area of India, which was mostly in the south.
Thank you, Maharaj. Powerful point, Maharaj. So powerful. Thank you. And I'm, Maharaj has to end. Maharaj, if it's okay with you, Maharaj, I would like to write to you to ask a couple of questions about this. You can answer whenever you have time, Maharaj. No rush at all. And we thank you all so much for joining. Yes, Maharaj?
If you want, next Tuesday when we do a class again on CC, we can continue with this discussion.
Yes, Maharaj. I definitely have, more thoughts. Actually, understanding is the better word, I think. Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Prabhupada said we should talk about this because otherwise we can be contaminated in a subtle way with Māyāvādī philosophy.
Yeah. So true. So true. And we thank all the devotees for joining us and hope that we really, like I said, it's a very nice topic, hot topic that we all should be able to, we should, have our tools ready. And we thank Maharaj for joining us. Until then,
The materialists are Māyāvādīs also. They don't. They say I believe in God, but they don't worship God. Another form of life. Yeah, they want to be the supreme. We're the enjoyer. We're going to enjoy this material world. They want to take the place of God. The māyāvādī say there's no God, we're God, but the materialists want to take the place of God by acting as the enjoyer. It's the same thing. It's just done in a different way, that's all.
That was a powerful point, Maharaj. Yes. Wow.
Yeah, the whole world's māyāvādī. Yeah.
All right. Wow.
I believe in God, but I don't follow God. No, that means who cares? You know, who cares what you say? It's what you do that counts. You can say whatever you want to say.
But it's what you do is what counts. Yes, Maharaj. Wow. Got us thinking, Maharaj. You have given us assignments, Maharaj, to think about. At least for me, I have to speak for myself.
The devotees are tinged by Māyāvād philosophy.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us, and have your questions ready for the next class. Until then, vanchakaptibhyascha kripasindobevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Guru
Thank you, Guru
Maharaj.
Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you.